Finally got a nice day in Richmond. I'm so excited to actually be able to ride the bike. I got the short sleeves on today. Don't at me for wearing no gear. I'm squidding today. But the topic of today's video is 5 reasons why you should own a motorcycle. You know, and everybody always says, they're so dangerous. You can't even use most of the power. You can't even use the power on the street that you get with a 1000 or a 600. Well, let me be the first one to say you can use all the power on the street. It's more so about when you use it. You know, you don't just go hauling ass everywhere you go. Don't just go hauling ass. It's probably not the way to approach it when it's coming down to the safety of motorcycle riding, because it is dangerous. It always will be dangerous. Riding a motorcycle with whatever CC, you could ride a moped. It's always going to be dangerous. But I will start this off by saying the number one reason to ride a motorcycle is because you want one. What better reason would there be other than you want one? You only live once. So you might as well go and get you a bike, see what it's like. Or, I mean, the next closest thing that you could buy is probably like a convertible. Go ahead and get you a little convertible if motorcycle riding is still intimidating to you. And if you used to ride dirt bikes, though, I would say go for it. You know, it's essentially the same thing. You're just on a bigger machine, heavier, with more power. So take that with a grain of salt. But let's get this ride going. I'm just getting off work and it feels amazing outside today. We finally got a day where the weather is above 80 degrees. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. Grateful for that for sure. I cleaned my visor and somehow it's still dirty. I'm pretty sure it's the interior that's still dirty. The spot on the inside of my visor is kind of messing with me. But back to what I was saying. You know, the number one reason why you should buy a motorcycle, a beautiful piece of machinery like this, is because you want one. There's no better reason than to buy a motorcycle. You know, if you've always wanted one since you were a kid and you've always had aspirations to ride on 2 wheels, then by all means go for it. You know, sometimes though you have to ask yourself the question, how much do you trust yourself? I wouldn't recommend going out and buying a 1000cc motorcycle if, I don't care how good of a rider you are, but if you don't trust yourself and being able to stay level-headed in situations where speeding isn't really prominent, then I would probably say stick to something more of a smaller cc bike. You know, with your smaller cc's, things happen a lot slower than when you're on a 1000. When you're on a 1000, things happen in a blink of an eye. There's here and there. There's two spaces on a 1000. There's no in between. You're either here or there. So if you don't trust yourself, you know, in situations to where you could get into something that you probably might not be able to get out of, then by all means get a smaller cc bike. That's a way better reason for you to buy a motorcycle with a smaller cc motor, because they tend to happen a lot slower than super bikes, liter bikes. You can injure yourself on all bikes. Don't get it twisted. You can definitely injure yourself on whatever machine that you're on that's on 2 wheels. So that guy is riding a 0-turn lawnmower down the highway. That's crazy. But reason number 2 to buy a motorcycle is because you save gas. Especially if you're not ripping and running everywhere you go, you save fuel riding a motorcycle. I fill this up $10, but the way that I ride, I'll burn that $10 in a day. But you know, if you are a lot more subtle on the throttle and you're just out here just for the vibes and just for the scenery, then you will be surprised. Why is my car though trying to connect? I don't want you right now. But if you're out here just for the vibes and the scenery, then oftentimes, lost my train of thought when I saw the officer. But anyway, if you're out here just for the vibes and for the scenery, then oftentimes you're not ripping everywhere, so you won't be burning through much fuel at all. You know, I drive a V8, an ISF, so I'm putting gas in my car, and I baby my car. I drive my car like a grandma, like a grandpa. But I'm filling up my tank every week and a half, 2 weeks. Even with, you know, my chill driving style in my car, filling my tank up. You buy a bike and you drive regularly, no speeding, you could go a whole week off of $10, especially when it's warm outside. So, you know, number 2 reason to buy a motorcycle is because you save lots of money and fuel at the end of the day. A third reason I would say to buy a motorcycle is because you meet a lot of people that ride that you wouldn't even know exist if you didn't have a motorcycle. You meet a lot of people that are great people to help you out. You know, they'll become more of your friends than the friends that you've had your entire life. You know, when I got this bike 2 years ago, I met a couple of guys, and I hadn't gotten a birthday gift from my friends, and since I who knows how long, but that year, a couple months after meeting them, they ended up buying me a rear stand for my bike. $130 rear stand, and they barely even know me, you know? So the community, not everybody, I'm not gonna speak and say everybody's cool, but generally in the community, everybody's welcoming everyone, everybody's friendly. You know, you meet great people, great and wonderful people out here on 2 wheels that you otherwise wouldn't even meet if you didn't own a motorcycle. So, you know, I've met in the last year of consistently riding, I've met over 200 people that ride, just about on average, around 200 people that ride out here. And, you know, it's been a blast, man, meeting all the new people that are just getting into riding, people that have been riding for 6, 7, 8+ years. It's cool to, you know, meet and network with different people from different walks of life, and you might have more in common with them than, you know, you would think you would. Number 4 to own a motorcycle. Your time frame for whatever distance that you're going to is cut in half. Hands down, I lie to you not, it's cut in half. Especially in states where lane splitting is legal. Man, you got a 20-minute traffic jam, you'll be through the traffic jam in 5 tops. So your time frame for wherever you want to go is cut in half. That's a no-brainer. I live 30 minutes from work. Sometimes I leave the house 15 minutes before I'm supposed to be there. And guess who's on time? Guess who's on time? And you guessed it, me. All because a motorcycle. Now, when it's cold, you better go ahead and schedule to leave when you're supposed to, because you're not pulling this out when it's 30 degrees outside. Ain't no way. You cut different, my boy. If you're doing that, you are cut different. I can't do it. If it's below 60 degrees, you won't even see my bike. You won't even hear from me. I might be under a rock like Patrick Starr until it gets warm again. Hibernation. So number 4 reason is because you literally can get wherever you want to get in a timely manner. Now, you don't even have to push it. You know, you could just coast and still make it to wherever you want to be on time. You know? Something that you will never be able to do in the car safely. Ever. It's a beautiful day to be outside. Feels so good outside today, man. I can't say that enough. I can't express enough how good it feels to be on the bike. Later on tonight, I might ride out with a couple of guys and see if we can find like a little bike night or a car meet in downtown Richmond. Saturday night, and the weather feeling like this, I'm almost certain there's going to be something going on that I want to be a part of, quite frankly. I want to be a part of it. I'm just starting doing this whole YouTube thing. I'm just starting this whole YouTube thing, so I just want to, whoa. See, as bikers, that stuff you gotta watch out for. You might not think it's a big deal. Oh, I'll just ride over top of it. You ride over top of that, and then the board slides. Guess what you're doing? You're sliding. It's a nice vet over there. But where was I at? I think I was at number 4. Yeah, number 4 on being that you can make it anywhere in a reasonable time. The reason number 5 for owning a motorcycle. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I can only speak for myself when I say this. But the amount of smiles that you see daily when you pass by on your motorcycle is unmatched to anything that you'll see any other time during your life. The kids' reactions, just other people. See, this is what I'm talking about. That is so crazy. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You see what I'm saying? The amount of people that are so intrigued and love motorcycles, and they don't even really realize it until you ride by on your beautiful motorcycle. In this case, I'm riding a 2016 BMW S1000 RR, a beautiful looking bike. You won't even realize how many people and kids days that you make just by owning one of these things. It makes you feel like you have a purpose, even if you're really doing nothing besides just riding. You know? The bike brings out the smiles, it brings out the excitement. It just seems to brighten up people's day. They see you on the bike, you wave at them, give them a little rev, and if you are skilled enough to do stunts and you do a stunt for them, they lose their minds, man. They absolutely lose their minds, and that's the best thing. That is literally the best feeling and reaction that you can receive when you're riding on one of these motorcycles. I love it. I completely love it. You pull up gas stations, grocery stores, and people are like, oh my god, I've always wanted one of these. It's such a beautiful bike. Let me take a picture. It's a great feeling, man. You can make a lot of people's days just by owning a motorcycle. I'm pretty sure that cop was like, oh yeah, he didn't see me, but I saw you, my boy. I see everything. I definitely saw you. Let me give y'all a little sound blip. Just a little sound blip. I've always wanted to take my 1000 down a runway at an airport. I'm pretty sure you gotta have a permit for something like that, but if anybody has their own private runway that is paved smoothly, hit up Travel Poppy, because I would love to max out my 1000 down a runway. I would love it. My homeboy ended up calling me, so you know, I had to take that call. Gotta take the call from the homies. But yeah, so my fifth and final reason, as I said before, was just the excitement that you see on people. The way you just you brighten their days. They could be having a bad day, see a bike, and they just, you know, lose their minds. And that's one of the things I love. That's one of the things I love. So go get you one. If you don't already have one, go get you one. You gotta own one of these. If you don't already own one, you have to get you a bike, man. Hey, Valentino Rossi swag.
Oh, and you got the tag on. They made it like that, didn't they? Oh,
You said what?
tag is tucked like a bitch.
Nah, I did that.
Oh, you did that?
Yeah, I did that.
That's crazy.
I did it. I don't want nobody, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to. Bruh.